What up, guys? This is Chad again. Alright, so last time we was reading over, we was in Proverbs chapter 6, verse 19. We had went over the 7 things that the Lord hates. And you know what? I want to go ahead and apologize. I did not realize there was my camera. Like, I didn't think this phone had that good of a mic and a camera on it. It was catching all them people hollering next to me and stuff. Please forgive me for that. And I also brought my NLT Bible, so it's going to be a lot easier. It's straight to the point. So we're going to pick up where we left off. And also I wanted to cover, I'm going through some trials right now in my life. Somebody else may be going through this too. I had started a thing through my ministry work where we were going to be cooking Thanksgiving dinner for the less fortunate. I was waiting for a response on my Facebook and either other parts of social media that I put it on. I have not got one response from that. Like, I know there's somebody out there that is homeless and needs some type of help, or, wants to have a hot meal on Thanksgiving. So nobody gave me any information. In fact, there was not even one donation to that cause. So right now I'm going through some trials. My bank account is in the negative, but that's all right. It says to pray and give all your worries to Jesus. Lean on him. He'll get you through it. Well, let's see what happens, because he ain't just have to get me through it, because I'm in a hole, son. I'm there. I know most people wouldn't be laughing about it, but having a banking account into the negative, how am I going to pay for gas? How am I going to do all this stuff? That's all right. I'm just going to pray about it, and something's going to happen. It always does, because I didn't go out and spend my money on myself. I spent it for somebody that was going without, and I was expecting help from a fellow brother and sister, and maybe it just didn't get out to the right thing. I'm trying to have more hope in people than what I was thinking that day. I probably should have reconsidered it, but then I would have been reconsidering what my Lord wanted me to do, which was help other people that were in hand. If I'm like, nah, you know what? I can't really do that, because I ain't going to have nobody to be able to help me. Remember, if you put your trust in man, guess what? you're gonna get let down. And that's exactly what happened. I got let down, but that's all right. Jesus is going to get me through it. I'm just going to have to figure it out. But anyway, so we left off in chapter 6:19. So we're going to start on verse 20. I think he was supposed to start going over adultery or something along the lines of that. I'm just going to start reading. So, chapter 6, verse 20. My son, obey your father's commands and don't neglect your mother's instructions. Keep their words always in your heart. Tie them around your neck. When you walk, their counsel will lead you. When you sleep, they will protect you. When you wake up, they will advise you. For their command is a lamp, and their instruction is a light. Their corrective discipline is the way to life. It will keep you from the immoral woman, from the smooth tongue of a promiscuous woman. Don't lust for her beauty. Don't let her coy glances seduce you, for a prostitute will bring you to poverty, but sleeping with another man's wife will cost you your life. Okay, that is pretty clear. Like, it is saying if you mess around with another man's wife, more than likely this I'm gonna keep going. He fixing to get you. Can a man scoop a flame into his lap and not have his clothes catch on fire? Can he walk on hot coals and not blister his feet? So it is with the man who sleeps with another man's wife, he who embraces her will not go unpunished. Excuses might be found for a thief who steals because he is starving, but if he is caught, he must pay back 7 times what he stole, even if he has to sell everything in his house. But a man who commits adultery is an utter fool, for he destroys himself. He will be wounded and disgraced. His shame will never be erased. For the woman's jealous husband will be furious. and he will show no mercy when he takes revenge. Okay, so now we see what he was talking about. It will cost you your life. You know, a lot of people freak out whenever this happens, and I've seen some husbands get to the point where they're ready to kill this other man. You know, luckily, you know, Jesus jumps in and intervenes on that, because, you know, he ain't supposed to be killing nobody, but it's saying that, you know, it could happen. So, and he will show no mercy when he takes revenge. All right, he will accept no compensation, nor be satisfied with a payoff of any size. So you ain't buying your way out of this one if you get caught with this mess. Like, it is coming. But it takes a huge man to go through this and be able to forgive. And this goes both ways. I mean, this is not just for a wife. This goes for a man cheating on his wife. I've seen some stuff in my life where I've seen women pull guns on their husbands and stuff for cheating on them. You know, at a split second their life could be gone, but Jesus intervenes with the ones that you know, that have them inside of him. He gets them to stop. But, you know, I've heard of where that didn't go so well. So, all right, we're going to start in chapter 7. Another warning about immoral women. Immoral women. Follow my advice, my son. Always treasure my commands. Obey my commands and live. Guard my instructions as you guard your own eyes. Tie them down on your fingers as reminders. Write them deep within your heart. Love wisdom like a sister. Make insight and be loved. Remember for your family. Let them protect you from an affair with an immoral woman, from listening to the flattery of the promiscuous woman. While I was at the window of my house looking through the curtain, I saw some naive young man, and one in particular who lacked common sense. He was crossing the street near the house of an immoral woman, strolling down the path by her house. It was at twilight in the evening. As deep darkness fell, the woman approached him, seductively dressed and sly of heart. She was the brash, rebellious type, never content to stay at home. She is often in the streets and markets, soliciting at every corner. She threw her arms around him and kissed him, and with a brazen look she said, "I've just made my peace offerings and fulfilled my vows. You are the one I was looking for. I came out to find you, and here you are. My bed is spread with beautiful blankets, with colored sheets of Egyptian linen." Okay, that should tell you where that went wrong. "I've perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon." Man, I really like cinnamon too. It makes me think bad about that stuff now. But come, let's drink our fill of love until morning. Let's enjoy each other's caresses, for my husband is not at home. He's away on a long trip. He has taken a wallet full of money with him and won't return until later this month. So she just seduces him with her pretty speech and enticed him with her flattery. He followed her at once like an ox going to the slaughterhouse. He was like a stag caught in a trap, awaiting the arrow that would soon pierce his heart. He was like a bird flying into a snare, little knowing it would cost him his life. So listen to me, my sons, and pay attention to my words. Don't let your hearts stray away towards her. Don't wander down her wayward path, for she has been the ruin of many. Many men have been her victims. Her house is the road to the grave. Her bedroom is the den of death. All right. That's pretty much covered all right there. I'm not, pointing no fingers. I've been on the other end of this before too, before I turned my life over, and it absolutely killed me whenever I found out about some stuff. Whenever I was in my younger years, before I got married, it's the only time I've been, married in a court of law, but I am actually married to Jamie. We just didn't go before the courts because they like the government like screwing you if you haven't learned that already. And people on disability, they really like putting a thumb up them. So, but anyways, back to what I was saying. You know, it hurt me a lot then to know that a girl that said that I'd been talking to, she didn't have nobody. She was single. I thought I was in the green. I didn't think anything was wrong. You know, this is before I learned the word, though. Of course, I was doing something wrong because I wasn't married to the woman. But anyways, you know, I learned about that later, and I eventually got married. But whenever I found out that this woman was married, and like newly married, like, I mean, just had happened. This man was out working, like, it absolutely destroyed me inside. But I let it be known I was a better man. That man could have hunted me down and took me out, but I let him know, hey, look, I didn't know, man. Like, I know you probably have heard this a lot, considering of how your wife is, but for all I know, she said she was single. You know, I ain't never been in your house or anything like that. And that was kind of weird too. You know, wasn't never invited over there to her house. Like, all the dumb stuff I could have paid attention to. Like, I was just retarded then. Like, I don't know what was wrong with me. But anyways, it did bother me though. Like, cause deep down inside, at that point in time, I had never been married to nobody, but I knew what it was like to get cheated on. And it was horrible. I can only imagine what it would be like, you know, if you was married to somebody and they done that, which, anyways. We're going to go to chapter 8, because that's a really touchy chapter. That's going to probably bring some hurt feelings and stuff. I just wanted to go over. I'm not going to leave out any of God's word. Like, I'm sorry. If this bothers you, then, you know, don't let it bother you. Everybody has made mistakes. We have all come from a bad past. Whenever we came to Jesus, it was there. Because, I mean, like I said, I come from the bottom of the barrel. There's a few people that know me in my past. But I'm here now, and that's what counts, and I'm trying to help other people. So chapter 8, wisdom calls for a hearing. Listen as wisdom calls out. Hear as understanding raises her voice. Okay, so they're speaking wisdom as her metaphorically. On a hilltop along the road, she takes her stand at the crossroad by the gates. At the entrance to the town, on the road leading in, she cries aloud, I call to you, to all of you. I raise my voice to all you people. You simple people, use good judgment. You foolish people, show some understanding. Listen to me, for I have important things to tell you. Everything I saw is right, for I speak the truth and detest every kind of deception. My advice is wholesome. There is nothing devious or crooked in it. My words are plain to anyone with understanding, clear to those with knowledge. Choose my instruction rather than silver, and knowledge rather than pure gold. For wisdom is far more valuable than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with it. Wisdom, live together with good judgment. I know where to discover knowledge and discernment. Okay. All who fear the Lord will hate evil. Therefore, I hate pride and arrogance, corruption and perverse speech. Common sense and success belong to me. Insight and strength are mine. Because of me, kings reign and rulers make just decrees. Rulers lead with my help, and nobles make righteous judgments. I love all who love me. Those who search will surely find me. I have riches and honor, as well as enduring wealth and justice. My gifts are better than gold, even the purest gold. My wages are better than sterling silver. I will walk in righteousness and paths of justice. Those who love me inherit wealth. I will fill their treasures. The Lord formed me from the beginning. Before he created anything else, I was appointed in ages past, at the very first, before the earth even began. I was born before the oceans were created, before the springs bubbled forth their waters, before the mountains were formed, before the hills I was born. Before he had made the earth and the fields and the first handfuls of soil, I was there when he established the heavens. When he drew the horizon on the oceans, I was there when he set the clouds above, when he established springs deep within the earth. I was there when he set the limits of the sea so they would not spread beyond their boundaries. And when he marked off earth's foundations, I was the architect at his side. I was his constant delight, rejoicing always in his presence. And how happy I was with the world he created. How I rejoiced with the human family. Now this kind of really got my attention here. It refers to wisdom as her. Okay, now this was before Adam and Eve and the earth was even created. God created the earth and the heavens. Wisdom stood by his side, which is referred to as a her. Then whenever Adam came along, he created another her from his rib. So, kind of makes me wonder in some of this. But wisdom was there before anything, so you can't go wrong with it. That just kind of really drew attention to me on that one. And it says, "And so my children, listen to me, for all who follow my ways are joyful. Listen to my instruction and be wise. Don't ignore it. Joyful are those who listen to me, watching for me daily at my gates, watching for me outside my home. For whoever finds me finds life and receives favor from the Lord, but those who miss me injure themselves. All who hate me love death." All right, we're going into chapter 9. Wisdom has built her house. She has carved it 7 columns, and she has prepared a great banquet mixed with wines and the set table. She has set her servants to invite everyone to come. Everyone's invited here. There ain't no special person to seek wisdom. Everyone is invited. No racism, no none of this other mess we deal with in our everyday lives. She calls out from the heights overlooking the city, "Come in with me." She urges the simple to those who lack good judgment. She says, "Come and eat my food and drink the wine I have mixed. Leave your simple ways behind and begin to live. Learn to use good judgment. Anyone who rebukes a mocker will get an insult in return. Anyone who corrects the wicked will get hurt. So don't bother correcting mockers, for they will only hate you. But correct the wise, and they will love you." So you can't help somebody that don't want to be helped. That right there, that's another thing that tells you that. I know some people are dealing with those type of people too. "Instruct the wise, and they will be even wiser. Teach the righteous, and they will learn even more. Fear of the Lord is the foundation of wisdom. Knowledge of the Holy One results in good judgment. Wisdom will multiply your days and add years to your life. If you become wise, you will be the one to benefit. If you scorn wisdom, you will be the one to suffer." All right, hold on, let me get some of my water. I done pretty much got over all that mess. I said in 2 days I'd be over it, and sure enough, 2 days, I was good. I went and got my kids this weekend. We did our Thanksgiving yesterday, and it was right before that big storm come in that afternoon. It was good. We had some fun. I just wish I could have ate a little bit more than what I'm used to. Cooked all that food and made this little Mickey Mouse plate and couldn't even eat all of that. But hey, if I want the weight loss to help my back, I got to sacrifice some food. It was still good food, but I had to give it up. All right, so Foley calls for a hearing. The woman named Foley is brash. She is arrogant and doesn't know it. She sits in her doorway on the heights overlooking the city. She calls out to men going by who are minding their own business. Come in with me, she urges, simple to those who lack good judgment. Hold on, let me see. Let's see what happened here. Okay, no, I was in the right place. To those who lack good judgment, she says, stolen water is refreshing. Food eaten in secret tastes the best, but little do they know that the dead are now there. Her guests are in the depths of the grave. Okay, this is Proverbs of Solomon. This is in chapter 10. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise child brings joy to a father. A foolish child brings grief to a mother. Now, that's normally what happens. Whenever I leave the house, my kids are normally pretty good. And as soon as I leave and go somewhere, it's absolute anarchy at that house, man. My wife will call me up, be having a fit, telling me these kids are not minding. As soon as they hear I'm supposed to turn this car around, come home, people start acting right. Like, if mama's out there, man, don't let that scaredness be all in your husband. Go in there and grab a belt and start tearing some tail up. That's the reason why they fear him. They afraid they're gonna get their tail tore up. But if you spare that rod, that child's gonna walk all over you, and it's gonna happen. I've watched it happen to my friends and some of my friends that didn't get their tails tore up growing up. Them people are in jail now. So, anyways. Tainted wealth has no lasting value, but right living can save your life. The Lord will not let the godly go hungry, but he refuses to satisfy the craving of the wicked. Lazy people are soon poor. Hard workers get rich. A wise youth harvests in summer, but one who sleeps during the harvest is a disgrace. The godly are showed with blessings. The words of the wicked conceal violent intentions. We have happy memories of the godly, but the name of the wicked person rots away. The wise are glad to be instructed, but babbling fools fall flat on their faces. People with integrity walk safely, but those who follow crooked paths will be exposed. People who wink at wrong cause trouble, but a bold reproof promotes peace. The words of the godly are a life-giving fountain. The words of the wicked conceal violent intentions. Hatred stirs up quarrels, but love makes up for all offenses. Wise words come from the lips of people with understanding, but those lacking sense will be beaten with a rod. Yeah, I've been one of them people, not listening. I got my tail tore up too, and this was before belts become a thing. It was like whatever was around, I was getting my tail tore up with, son. Wise people treasure knowledge, but the babbling of a fool invites disaster. The wealth of the rich is their fortress. The poverty of the poor is their destruction. The earnings of the godly enhance their lives, but evil people squander their money on sin. People who accept discipline are on the pathway to life, but those who ignore correction will go astray. Hiding hatred makes you a liar. Slandering others makes you a fool. Too much talk leads to sin, but sensible and keep your mouth shut. Okay, be sensible and keep your mouth shut. That means people who are constantly, man, I deal with that with some of these kids in the parking lot. They are so excited about having a vehicle. They're over there running their mouth 90 to nothing. Oh, I got all this stuff done to my truck. I got the fastest stuff. And I can hear what you're talking about. I'm a mechanic. I know that you're lying. Clearly, there is no turbo on your truck whenever there is a regular exhaust manifold on it and it goes out up underneath there. But I'm still going to listen and see how far this goes and see how much of a fool do you actually think I am. And it goes pretty far. And then whenever they talk all this trash and things happen, we may take it up there to Twin City or wherever we go. We ain't breaking no rules down the road. We take it up to a drag strip. But they get so hurt whenever 30 years ago walks off and leaves them in the dust. Like, just hurt feelings. Like, one boy just couldn't even come back over there to his friends. He just left the track altogether. Like, he didn't even come over there and say nothing. I wasn't doing that out there to put this, to belittling somebody. Hey, he said he had all these things. This should have been a good race with my ground to weight ratio. But because he lied, he walked away with his head down because his friends knew he was lying. I already knew he was lying before we started. That's the reason why I was ready. Let's go. Like, you want to put me down, talk trash about my little car? That's all right. Remind me of the story of David and Goliath. I may be small, but this little thing packs a punch. All right. Anyways, let's see. Where was we at? All right, so here we go. The earnings of the godly enhance their lives, but evil people squander their money on sin. Okay. People who accept discipline are on the pathway to life, but those who ignore correction will go astray. Hiding hatred makes you a liar. Slandering others makes you a fool. And then, this is where I went over. Too much talk leads to sin. Be sensible and keep your mouth shut. The words of the godly are like sterling silver. Sorry, I kind of jumped back a little bit, guys. The heart of a fool is worthless. The words of godly encourage many, but fools are destroyed by their lack of common sense. The blessing of the Lord makes a person rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Doing wrong is fun for a fool, but living wisely brings pleasure to the sensible. Living wisely brings pleasure to people with common sense. The fears of the wicked will be fulfilled. The hopes of the godly will be granted. When the storm of life comes, the wicked are whirled away, but the godly have a lasting foundation. Lazy people irritate their employees like vinegar to the teeth or smoke in the eyes. Fear of the Lord lengthens one's life, but the years of the wicked are cut short. Yeah, probably because they got cut short by somebody's husband. But anyways, the hopes of the godly result in happiness, but the expectations of the wicked come to nothing. The way of the Lord is a stronghold to those with integrity, but it destroys the wicked. The godly will never be disturbed, but the wicked will be removed from the land. The mouth of the godly person gives wise advice, but the tongue that deceives will be cut off. Their lips of the godly speak helpful words, but the mouth of the wicked speaks perverse words. That's lies, slander, being ugly to people. You just name it. If it's negative, that's perverse words. This ain't just about cussing. You use the Lord's name in vain. You already know you done messed up. That's part of the 10 Commandments. Like, that's the ultimate of stuff. Hold on real quick. Let me grab something. All right. So, we're in chapter 11 now. The Lord detests the use of dishonest scales. All right. Here's another thing I see people doing nowadays. People that owns businesses. Man, some of these businesses are robbing their employees. Like Walmart should take a hearing in Proverbs chapter 11 verse 1. The Lord distasts the use of dishonest scales, but he delights in accurate weights. Pride leads to disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Honest God's good people. Dishonesty destroys treacherous people. The riches won't help on the day of judgment, but right living can save you from death. The godly are directed by honesty. The wicked fall beneath their load of sin. So it's going to say your sin's going to run over you like a ton of bricks in a truck. The godliness of godliness of good people rescues them. The ambition of the treacherous people traps them. When the wicked die, their hopes die with them, for they rely on their own feeble strength. That's the reason why it says trust in the Lord in everything. Don't rely on your own understanding, because you just now upgraded to feeble in strength, and there is no match to God. I mean, you can sit there and try to understand stuff. That's the reason why I'm not tripping out about having a negative in my banking account right now. It says trust in the Lord and He will provide, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I ain't worried about that. I mean, I got a half a tank of gas. I mean, if I need to go somewhere, I'll get somewhere, but I trust in Him is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to get through it. So, alright, so we were on verse 8. The godly are rescued from trouble, and it falls on the wicked instead. With their words, the godly are godless destroy their friends, but knowledge will rescue the righteous. The whole city celebrates when the godly succeed. They shout for joy when the wicked die. They shout for joy when the wicked die. So like Batman. Upright citizens are good for a city and make it prosper, but the talk of wicked tears it apart. It is foolish to belittle one's neighbor. A sensible person keeps quiet. A gossip goes around telling secrets, but those who are trustworthy can keep confidence. Without wise leadership, a nation falls. There is safety in having many advisors. There's danger in putting up security for a stranger's debt. It is safer not to guarantee another person's debt. A gracious woman gains respect, but ruthless men gain only wealth. Your kindness will reward you, but your cruelty will destroy you. Evil people get rich for the moment, but the reward of the godly will last eternity. Godly people find life. Evil people find death. The Lord detests people with crooked hearts, but He delights in those with integrity. People who try to do good. You know, not all of us are going to be perfect, and I'm going to keep saying that. We are going to mess up on this path. But if you are trying your hardest and you slip, God's going to be upset. You're going to have a trial to go through. But pray to Jesus and understand your wrongdoing. Admit to your wrongdoing. Ask, plead your forgiveness, and He's going to get you through it. But it says, evil people will surely be punished, but the children of the godly will go free. So if you're evil and you never turn from your ways, hey, you're going to be punished, all right. But it said the children of the godly will go free. Meaning if they mess up along the way and they're really trying to be for God and go for God's kingdom, hey, Jesus set them free. That's the whole point in all of this. If you don't accept Jesus, none of this stuff you're going to get. I mean, it's just not going to happen. A beautiful woman who lacks discretion is like gold rings in a pig's snout. The godly can look forward to a reward, while the wicked can expect only judgment. Give freely and become more wealthy. And see, that's what I was trying to do. Give freely and, well, not necessarily become wealthy. And it says, be stringy and lose everything. I didn't want to be stringy. I didn't want to be holding on to everything. Man, I knew there was going to be people going without this Thanksgiving, and I wanted to give freely. Maybe I gave a little bit too much. Maybe I should have held on to at least a little bit of my stuff. But I wanted to make sure that these people had the full deal, not just some half-tailed Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, well, I'm only going to do half of what I done for my family for you because, you're not part of my household. No, I treated them people like if they were in my household, like if they were part of my family, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing Thursday. Still ain't backing out from it. I'm going to find a way to Monroe. Unfortunately, nobody around here said anything, so I don't know of anybody to help around here. I got all this food. I got time to cook it, so it looks like I'm going to Monroe to the homeless shelter. I know them people would enjoy it because they are homeless. They do not have nothing. So a good home-cooked Thanksgiving meal made with love from Jesus, yeah, they gonna like it. And the ones that don't know of him will know of him that day, because I can guarantee you I'm gonna ask them, because I ain't doing all this for nothing. I'm doing this for my Lord. I'm gonna ask them. I'm like, hey, I know y'all enjoy the food, but we're gonna give thanks for this food, and I'm gonna ask you, do you know Jesus? Because he knows you. He is the reason why I am here giving you this food. He loves you. Y'all would have went without today. And I'm going to explain that. And I'm hoping that they will understand where I'm coming from. And if they haven't turned over their life, maybe that hot Thanksgiving meal from an absolute stranger that said, hey, I was guided by Jesus to bring this here to you, will take this and go. That is the reason why I done it, not for wealth. The money that would have been donated to me only would have helped me help these people that much more, and maybe would have made it a little bit easier for me to get there. I got to figure out how I'm going to get there now, but it's all right. I'll pray. Jesus will provide every time. He'll give me an idea of something, or something will come through for me. All right. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Okay, yeah, I said give freely and become more wealthy, be stringy and lose everything. The generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. I'm glad to know that. This is a promise of God. I'm going to refresh others, and eventually I'll be refreshed whenever that time may come. I'm working on God's time, not my own. So whenever that day comes, he gonna let me know, hey, I just brought you back up on your feet and helped you out. And I know about it every time now. When before it felt like I was just lost every day. I didn't even know why I was even breathing. Like, well, what am I even here for? So, and I know now. Alright, people curse those who hoard their grain, but they bless the one who sells in the time of need. If you search for good, you will find favor, but if you search for evil, it will find you. Seek and you shall find. If you look for some bad stuff, don't get me wrong, you will find it. It's like an open door. Trust in your money, and down you go. But the godly flourish like leaves in the spring. Those who bring trouble on their families inherit the wind. The fool will be a servant to the wise. The seeds of good deeds become a tree of life. A wise person wins friends. If the righteous are rewarded on earth, what will happen to the wicked sinners? And that's pretty much self-explanatory what happens to them. Everybody knows. Sinners are not going to be for Jesus. They're not going to be for God. They're not going to be for anything good. They're only going to look out for themselves, watch other people fall, and eat dirt around them whenever they could have helped them. No, sir, I'm not part of that group no more. And I'm glad for it. And that's where I'm going to close tonight with. Proverbs is pretty long. I thought I was going to be able to zoom through it, but we ain't very far away. we're going to pick up in Proverbs 12 the next time we get on here. Looks like we're getting close to 40 minutes, but I really wanted to go over that part and give y'all an update on what's going on with the Driven by Christ Thanksgiving plate giveaway. A lot of things that I thought, that was going to happen, didn't happen. God has a different plan. I ain't going to sit there and get mad and be like, look, I did what you told me to do, and now I'm eating dirt. My banking account's in a zero, and yada, yada, yada. Hey, this is that trial. This is that test that y'all could be going through too. Banking account's on a zero. How am I going to get through this? Whenever you start doubting stuff, that's whenever the worst is going to happen. I don't have no doubts at all. And if you can build yourself up to this amount of strength. Now, I'm not saying he won't put me in a position where even I'm like, all right, now things are kind of getting kind of tight. I'm still going to praise you. I'm waiting for you to come through. There will be those days too where he's going to push you right there to your limit where you're going to be like, oh, I can't do it no more. Like you're going to have to make something happen or else I'm going to, lose my mind or whatever. Don't lose your mind. Just hang in there. He ain't going to let you go through something that you can't handle. Maybe there's a reason why I'm supposed to be at the house right now. I mean, I've been reading my Bible more. I've been making YouTube videos for children on Car Mechanic Simulator. Like, we're all the time doing stuff on there. So it gives me more practice to be a better person to the people that I come encounter with, and I'm glad to learn it. But anyways, y'all have a nice night and a blessed tomorrow. We'll catch y'all then. We'll try to get on Proverbs and finish it out. We'll be done on the next video. I'll run it all the way to the end, but I kind of wanted to hit a quick one tonight. But anyways, I'll catch y'all later. Bye.